This is so flattering. But that's never been the point, has it? Hi guys, this is Connie, and you see little baby bear Tryon. She only wants to chew on my wallet. A preview of things to come. I'm getting a little distracted and I'm trying to keep it light because I just watched. Oh, I'm totally gonna. I apologize now if I'm gonna butcher Philip. Oh, I don't even know your last name. My brain is all over the place. But I just finished watching your live stream. For those who don't know, hashtag Philip Strong and his story, which is phenomenal, by the way. I'm trying to keep it light so that I don't completely ugly cry, like I know I'm destined to do at some point this day for one reason or another. But he's dealing with some leukemia. Has had a roller coaster of high ups and downs through the situation, and has essentially, according to the doctors, been given a death sentence. And if you have an opportunity to watch his most recent live stream where he basically shares his faith and he shares his heart and what's been going on, it is nothing short of phenomenal. I feel like that's an understatement, and I'm known to say extreme stuff since it's my personality to be a little bit over exaggerated in my things. However, there's nothing short of phenomenal in his story and how he is sharing his faith. So I guess I could kind of do this as a chatty chicks as well. I do random social media things. I like to share, word vomit, and hopefully I can stay focused enough to get my points across for what I want to do for this. As a side note, she's getting dedicated today. Oh my goodness. Everybody's going to hear her real name and wonder, huh? And then I hope I don't completely ugly cry while she does that. But she's fantastic, so it'll be great. Either way. I almost want to make this a Chatty Chicks section too, and catch up with Jenna Hood, who I've been talking with as well, who's also been incredibly brave and honest about her tumor. And it's interesting how God writes our stories and the things that God allows us to go through and how we respond and react to it. And I think Philip has done nothing short of the honorable Job thing, where, you know, Job was told a boatload of terrible news about his family and his life, and just he didn't curse God and die. He said, "Naked I came into the world, and naked I will go out. May the Lord forever be praised." And Philip is definitely doing the same sort of thing now, and I think that's incredibly admirable and honorable, and I don't think it's a lack of faith. I think it's incredibly amazing to look death in the face and know what the facts are and still stand firm in your faith and not lose trust and hope in God. Because, you know, like, it's that life-giving struggle. Like, if I don't know how I would respond in that situation. I really like living life. I really have, and a lot to live for. A lot of things, even just setting out her dedication dress and stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, 30 years from now, God willing, or sooner or later, I could be doing the same thing on her wedding day. And it's an overwhelming thought. But I also know it's a God willing thing, because there's no guarantee in tomorrow or the next breath or the next day, much less the next week, month, year, lifetime. So it's been, yeah, you like that camera, don't you? It's amazing, isn't it? So to stand firm in your faith, faced with the obvious notion that 99% of the time you're gonna die. But having the reassurance, almost like playing a Mario Brothers game. Like, yes, there can be game over, but you get to restart in a whole new aspect in heaven, which is oversimplifying it. But I really like living the life I have right now. And I have the same faith, I have the same hope, I have the same trust, but I've never actively had to be in a situation where I had to stand with both feet on the ground. That's the first thing I could, that's the only thing that rang true out of that entire video that I watched, was just standing firm. First off, how dare people turn around and say, oh, you're sick because of your sins. There are obvious consequences to actions that and choices that we make in our lives, but sometimes people get sick because we live in a fallen world, and people get sick. Terrible things happen. We live in a twisted, fallen world, and by no fault of somebody's own at some point, bad things can happen upon good people, and you break it down very lovely, and like I said, it's this most honorable video and honest thing I've ever seen, and all I can say is great job. I'm biased. I have the faith and believe that God, like, I'm going to be praying that God would change the story, because we know how the natural turn of the story is probably going to go. And I'm asking for a plot twist at the end, because I think your life would be much more beneficial, in my opinion. I'm not God. I think it would be much more beneficial for you to have this life-changing, life-altering miracle as your story, and that you're able to share that with the world. It is still life-changing to know that you stood firm in your faith, even in the face of certain death, because a lot of people get scared, and a lot of people get chicken. And I've spent so many small choices saying no to God. I could see myself fighting tooth and nail if God's like, I just want you to come home. I'd be like, no, I still want to stay out in the world and play. Like, I want to do good things for you, but I really like living life. And that's the constant struggle I have for myself as far as being a living sacrifice, is learning to say yes to God in all things, because He writes our stories better than we can write them. And He knows better plot twists than any writer in Hollywood. Yeah. So it was just something that really touched my heart. And I think you've been nothing but honorable through the whole situation as far as what I've seen. And that's looking from a distance. So I'll say well done, but I know it's nothing compared to the fact that, you know, one day we get the opportunity to hear, you know, well done from Father God. I do have, if I could say one thing, and I'll try to say this as respectfully as I possibly can. It's important to remember, yes, I think it's great that you said, you know, Jehovah Jireh, my provider, His grace is sufficient for me. It really is. It's not just a kid's song. But I think it's also important to remember that there are opportunities that God is giving people to provide for you. That's how He provides. Sometimes He provides the helicopter. Oh, you dropped it. Sometimes in that image of like somebody's whose house is flooded over, sometimes God sends the boat, sometimes God sends the airplane, sometimes God sends different people our way. And if you don't accept that sometimes you're like, well, God, I thought you said you were going to provide for me. And He says, I did. I provided in multiple ways. So I'm glad that you had the discernment to say no to the GoFundMe and to say yes to letting your aunt do the fundraiser, because I think that, or the fundraising bracelets, because yeah, GoFundMe has its, I feel like GoFundMe is kind of like Craigslist, and some people have very dissatisfying opinions about those kinds of aspects and places and spaces. So that's a thing. Yeah. My chatty chick, I love how both of you talked about hair in some aspect, because one person was like, I don't understand weaves, and I'm like, I didn't either until I started befriending hairstylists and finding out that, you know, lots of people get lots of extensions. They're just not called weaves. I was amazed. It's amazing what you can do with or without hair in so many different ways. And And another part of me for Philip wants to say, if it's all coming in white, it means that you're gaining that wisdom. Because I know a lot of people get self-conscious about the white hair, the gray hair, the salt and pepper hair. And part of me goes, I've been waiting for it all my life as a sign of wisdom. I'd rather see it as a sign of wisdom rather than a sign of old age. So that's about it. Wow, 10 minutes. I could just babble on and on and on. But that was the big thing for me, was I'm encouraged at the standing firm. That's all I can think is yes, continue to stand firm, even though sometimes it sucks to do so. I love your understanding of, like, you know, maybe the gospel will advance further in my death, because there's an image in the New Testament about a seed falling to the ground and dying. If it doesn't do that, it's only that one seed, but when it dies, it gives birth to multitudes, and like Jesus did. And so I get it. Even processing this out in the video, I'm like, I have a piece either way, but I really want to have that. I really want to have that opportunity where hope arises. Where hope arises. Sometimes we just have to change our position, and suddenly you don't get the fussies. Hey, you. Back to the wallet. Back to the chew toy. I have washed it, by the way, folks. So my wallet has been washed and will continue to be washed multiple times so that the child doesn't get griminess all over it. But I've had to put a rubber band on it. My ear. She also got her 6-month checkup, so she's got shots in a couple of the legs and a little tired. We're all in different parts of our lives. Hey, we're all in different parts of our lives. And I hope that this isn't the final chapter of this part of your life. I want to believe that faith will arise and be strong. Not my hair. Ow. Say, we believe and we have faith. I hope that God does a miracle. And even if it means I have to, like, wail up against a wall like the Old Testament king did to have several years added to your life, then maybe I need to be up for that challenge. And maybe the people of God need to be up for that challenge as well. Because prayer does change things. And faith is given as a gift sometimes in increase. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for making the video. Thank you for standing firm. Thank you for being a fantastic example. Hi. Are you tired now? Is it time for you to take a nap? Is it time for you to take a nap? Is it time for you... Yes. You're fighting a nap, aren't you? You could take a nap in the car. What is it? 7 something? Yeah. You're about ready for nap time. So. Me. We love you. We're praying for you. I have great faith that God's going to perform an awesome miracle. Because even just the standing firm for me is like, wow, that is a strong testimony in and of itself. And a part of me is like, God, just make it even cooler. I like happy endings when I watch my movies. And I know that life's not a movie, but I would much rather see this incredible, miraculous thing happen and you continue to go on and advance the gospel that way. That's just me. Let me know what you guys think. Be careful with that and enjoy, please, and thank you. And this may even be my Connie's OneNote. I would love to do one video for the entire day and just know that it's all taken care of. And then I can just post something in the description that says, if you don't know what I'm talking about, look here and here and here and here. References. Have a good one. Bye.